doing? My name's Dave, and if you're super excited that Nembrini Audio finally put out a bass amp for all of us bass players out there, you can call me Daveypoo, the mobile music minstrel. How you doing? That's right, today I'm back with Nembrini Audio's Blackice Beta Gamma, which is a model of the dark glass Alpha Omega. Hey, look at that. I'm amazed I can keep all those things straight. So let's just dive right in. Now, I've spent a lot of time demoing Nembrini Audio's apps, and the apps are phenomenal, but my reviews tend to suck because my guitar playing tends to suck. But you know, I'm not that bad a bass player. You know, I've done a few things as a bass player, so I'm a lot happier that they've put out a bass amp finally. Now, the Dark Glass Alpha Omega, its claim to fame is its distortion. So my understanding is that the lineage started out, that Dark Glass put out a pedal of it, and then they put out an amp version of it. But they have two different flavors of overdrive. They've got the Alpha and the Omega, and then you can blend between the two. And here we've got the Beta and the Gamma, and it's sort of the same thing. We'll walk through the features of this, and we'll play a little bit. I'm hosting in 8 Matrix, as I usually do. I've got Gain Pan going here first. Gain Pan is a AUV3 that's included with the purchase of 8 Matrix, and all I'm doing is I'm pushing up the gain. The output from the UMC 404 HD Behringer interface that I have is not that loud, so this just pushes it up so it's a little more able to be dealt with. That's running into Nembrini's Blackice Beta Gamma here. I'm also running an instance of Fafnar, so I'm going to experiment with cabinets a little bit. And then I've got an instance of Rock Drum Machine so that we got a little something to play along with, and I got a little tuner here in case I go out of tune. Let me talk a little bit about recording bass. Normally, I just plug the bass straight into the console, right? I just run direct. And I've always done that. I've never amped up or mic'd up a cabinet for bass. I feel like bass and guitar direct are two wildly different experiences. Now, objectively, you'd think, oh, well, if you could plug a bass in, why can't you do it with the guitar? In my experience, plugging a guitar direct into the console tends to sound terrible. It can be worked with. You can make things out of it. Hey, look, the Beatles recorded Revolution by plugging straight into the console, so there's merit there. But generally, guitars tend to sound pretty bad plugged straight in. But basses, on the other hand, because of the characteristics of the instrument, because of the thickness of the strings, because of the frequency range, you tend to get, or in my experience, tended to get the most pure, clean bass signal by going direct. So that's how I tend to record, and if I add anything to it, I'll do it in post. Because I don't want to be married to one particular bass tone. I want to be able to customize it in the mix. Now that's how I've done things in the past. So as a result, I don't normally use bass amp models or bass cabinet models. So I'm going a little bit out of my element here. However, there's utility here depending on the styles of music that you play. As I've mentioned numerous times, I tend to play funky stuff. I like funk music and funk-related music, funk-related rock, pop, jazz, all that kind of stuff. But I like to have that nice, super round, big, thick, fat bass, and I don't tend to find that I get that as well from amp models and things like that. This is a whole different arena, though, because now we're talking about a different style of music that I don't typically play. I don't usually play heavy rock. Let's hear what the bass sounds like. So I've got my Fender Precision bass here. Right, let's get the thing. There it is, Fender Precision. I've talked about this bass in other videos. If you want to know about the modifications and stuff that I've done to this instrument, I'll link a video below that you can check out to know all about the things that I've done. Basically, I swapped out the pickups. I added the mutes here. Added this as a bridge pickup. But right now, we're only going to hear the main Precision pickup, so we can hear just like this is what a P bass sounds like now. This bass, I recently put DR Pro Steels on it, so they're steel, very, very bright, grindy strings. Let's hear what this sounds like without going through anything. Okay, the output's pretty low here. Okay, now let's go into Blackice Beta Gamma. I've set this pretty flat. I've turned off the compression. I've tried to set the EQ flat. I've tried to set the inputs and outputs pretty flat so you can hear just what this sounds like without any of the extra bells and whistles. Now, we're adding a lot of gain from what we just heard for the dry signal, so of course it's going to sound better because it's louder, but you know. Alright, so I'm getting a little bit of... So not bad. Punchy, grindy, but you know, knowing my instrument, I feel like this is a fairly accurate representation of these bright strings on this instrument. But we're not hearing what this thing can do. So let's just talk quickly. So as with all the Nembrini apps, we've got the amp cab models here front and center. If I hit browse, you can see there's all sorts of bass cabinet models. I've chosen the 810 mic R20. That's just the one that I liked the sound of, but you see there's tons in here. Next to that, you've got the DI out and the input. So you can mix just no processing, your direct signal, with the affected signal in the app, which is really, really cool. You don't have to run a separate line, a separate signal, or a separate channel or any of that. You can do it all right here. It's really nice to have it all self-contained. Next to that, you've got the noise gate that Nembrini has in all of their apps to help turn off the noise. I've got that turned off right now. If you go to the left-hand side, you see you've got, I'm going to skip the buttons for a second. You've got compression, drive, and level. So this is your compressor. You can make sure that you're squashing the signal and maybe raising the level so you have a little less dynamic range in your bass signal. The amount of drive and the amount of level, okay, obviously that's it pertains to the compression. Then if you go underneath that, mod, blend, and gain. Okay, mod goes between the two different types of distortion, the beta and the gamma. It blends between those two, and then there's gain. So let's just play with the knobs. I'm chumping the descriptions here a little bit. Right next to that, you got the EQ, and you got your master and your output. It's really straightforward. There's no hidden things here. All right. I'm going to leave the EQ flat because I just want to play with the distortion. I'm going to turn it on. Trying to get a nice loud signal without running into the red. Now let's see if I can bring that out a little more by throwing the mid. All right, so the grind is there in the mid-range there. Okay, so let's see. Now. Ooh, that's cool. It's nice and gritty. All right, let's see what else we can do. That's nice. I don't normally distort the bass because I find that, you know, with most distortions, you lose the low end. And I don't like splitting the signal, and I don't like getting really complicated. In the past, I've always thrown a big muff and just gone fuzz. And the reason I love the big muff is it's all low end. Like, you don't lose any low end at all. So I don't usually do overdrive and grind with the bass. Now, let's kick up the lows here and see if we can get a little beef. Turn. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's pretty fat. Okay, so that must be the other distortion. Okay, so let's set this flat again and see if there's more of a discernible difference between the two different gains. Okay, so it looks like the beta side maybe is a little bit beefier lower mids, whereas the other one, That's a little more nasally to me. Okay, so that's like blending dry, and the distortions. And then this is blending the two distortions. So, okay, I can see that there are a lot of tones in here, because if you're able to mix both your dry signal and the affected signal, and then blend together the two different distortions. Like, that's meatier. Whereas this, like the grit cuts a little more. All right, let's put this in the middle here. Let's get a half and half. Let's see what these edge and punch buttons do. So let's tune the edge. Okay, so edge sounds like it adds some, maybe some high mids. It's just adding some hair to the note. High mids being the professional term, hair being the I don't really know term. Okay, what's punch? Let's see what other tones we can get out of this. Let's scoop this out a little bit. Oh, that's mean. I can hear that compressor kicking in. Let me kick that back. All right, this is really far from the tone I would normally get. I mean, that's hence why I grabbed the pick, why I put the steel strings on here. But this is rocking. All right, let's hear how it sounds with the drums. I put a simple beat into Rock Drum Machine here. Let's back this up to the top. Lots of space. That's meaty. All right, what else can we do here? Let's take some of the top end and I'll put the mids back in. Let's turn the gain down some. Sorry, I got carried away because holy crap, this thing is fun. Now I'm going to bypass the internal cabinet. I'm going to put it through a cabinet in Thafnar. Hey, I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone just for you guys because I care. All right, so let's see. We're going to take this out of there. Put this in there. Now we're running into a Ampeg SVT 210. Okay, I chose beforehand. I chose the 210 over the 410. It's an own hammer cabinet. They have multiple mics and all sorts of shit in here, but I chose the 210 over the 410. I just like the way it sounded, but that was before I messed with all the settings. So you know, let's see how this goes. Got to start with a crash hit. Let's try it in a different key than last time. We'll go to drop D. Sound a little better. Ooh! Okay, so I can hear the difference that that's making. Bring these down. Okay, so that's not... Oops, that's right. I'm in drop D. There's a fair amount of tones in here, okay? And you know, this isn't the only thing it does. If you want to do more traditional stuff, you can turn the distortion up. I'll do it scooped out. Whew, that... Okay, so I got a little hot signal on. Okay. So you can get a whole bunch of tones out of this thing. It's pretty impressive, I gotta say. I actually might like the built-in cabs better than the Thafnar ones. That's a lot of noodling for you guys. There's a lot of different tones in here. I would say especially for you metal guys that are more attuned to playing with overdrives and distortions and really dialing them in and making them work. But thanks, Nembrini. This thing is rad. Hey, more bass amps, please. An Ampeg would be great. You know, a Gallien-Kruger model would be great. Go crazy. You guys choose, but more bass amps would be awesome. So thanks, Nembrini Audio. This is fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like this kind of thing, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Click the little bell if you want notifications. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Twitter. I've not been banned yet. Check me out on Instagram. Go support the channel on Patreon. And I hope you guys had a great holiday. 2021's going to be awesome. And I'll see you guys next friggin' time, baby. later.